Today, we're breaking down the 10 key moments in the Diary of a CEO hosted by Steven Bartlett with guest Nischa Shah. Nischa Shah is an accountant and former investment banker who left behind a six-figure career to empower millions with financial literacy. Let's get to it. How trauma shapes your relationship with money. What if your money problems aren't about money at all? Nischa Shah explains how your childhood and past experiences shape your emotional relationship with money and how understanding this can set you free.
And do you think your sort of psychological or emotional or, I don't know, trauma response to money plays a role in our relationship with money?
Absolutely. We definitely all have a unique relationship with money, and a lot of it comes from our upbringing. It's like an invisible backpack that we carry that we don't even realize that we're carrying it. And it could be fed through us through what we've experienced firsthand, or whether we've just been on a fly on a wall, hearing a conversation between our parents. And what might feel invisible at the time has such a big impact on the way you see money, how you use it, how you earn it, grow it, spend it, save it, everything. But that said, you can understand what to do to start making it and turning it into your favor.
What was your relationship like with money when you went to university?
I didn't understand what money meant to me, so I followed society's version of money. So I bought all the things to make me look better, all the things to make my lifestyle look better. And I did that after graduating for years and years and years. That was the path that I followed for a very long time, until I realized that if I continue living this way and spending my money this way, the freedom, the choice, the options that I have or that I want aren't going to exist.
My wake-up call in banking. She thought she had job security until her mentor was fired overnight. Nischa shares the shocking moment that exposed the illusion of financial security and set her on the path to becoming a financial educator.
So for a long time, I believed in this blueprint: go to school, get a job, climb the ladder, and security will follow. And I did that to the T for almost a decade, 9 years in banking. And I'll say I was about halfway into my career where I met this amazing woman. She was basically my mentor, and we were working on multi-billion-dollar transactions late into the nights for weeks in a row at times. And we were in the middle of one of the largest deals that we've done. And overnight, she lost her job. Overnight, she was made redundant. And the very next day, I was asked to replace her. And I remember thinking at the time that this person believed in financial security. This person believed in the blueprint, and it was taken from her. And now I'm in her shoes. What's to say that the same won't happen to me? And that was the first time I saw a crack in the system, and I realized if you give someone else the power to feed you, you're also giving them the power to starve you. And that's when I really understood, okay, I need to learn about money. I need to stop spending it in the way that I'm spending it. I need to stop having this mindset around money, because what it's done right now is it's kind of trapped me. So what I did is took the power back in my own hands, did everything I needed to learn how to save, spend, invest, budget. And it came very easily to me because I was in banking. It was financial lingo, and I could simplify it very, very easily for me. And that's really where my mindset or my change in thinking around money changed.
How to build a peace of mind fund. This one financial move puts you ahead of 59% of Americans. Step 1 to gaining control of your finances: build a 1-month emergency buffer. Nischa breaks it down clearly and simply.
Is there a step 1 in taking back control?
The very first thing, number 1, that I would say to do is build a peace of mind fund.
A peace of mind fund.
This is not about maths. It's not the mathematically optimal thing to do, but it is the psychological. Because as we've discussed, money is as much about emotions as it is about numbers. So what I'll say is go through the last 30 days of your bank statements and calculate exactly how much it costs for 1 month of your living. So mortgage, rent, utilities, bills, minimum debt payments, car payments, whatever that total is, that's the amount that you want to save up for your peace of mind fund.
Okay, so I go through my last 30 days of my bills. I find out that it's cost me, let's say, $1,000.
That's 1 month of your core living expenses.
Yeah, so I need to save $1,000.
You don't need to invest it. You don't need to save it. You don't need to, it's not for a holiday. The reason why you want to save this is because when life does what it does best, which is throw a curve, you want to make sure that you have it handled. If a boiler breaks, your car dies on a Monday morning, the last thing you want on top of the stress of dealing with that thing is the financial stress of how you're going to pay for it. That's what this thing covers. It tells you, I've got peace of mind. Whatever life throws at me, I can handle it. And saving that 1 month of living costs puts you ahead of 59% of Americans and 30% of people living in the UK.
Stop leaking money with high-interest debt. Saving while in debt? You might be throwing money away. In step 2 of her financial plan, Nischa explains how to stop the financial bleeding by tackling high-interest debt first.
So many times people ask me, Nischa, I have 4,000, 5,000 sitting in my bank account. What should I do with it? And my first question back to them is, do you have any high interest rate debt? Because if you have savings of $2,000 earning 4%, but you also have credit card debt at 20%, you're leaking money more than you're making it. It's like pouring water into a bucket with holes in it and wondering why it's not going to fill up. So what you want to do is you want to take all of your debt that you have, rank it from highest to lowest.
In terms of interest?
In terms of interest rate. And then everything above 8%, you want to make minimum payments across everything first. And then everything above 8%, you want to throw your extra savings into the highest interest rate first, to the debt with the highest interest rate, and then move down in that order.
And interest rate, is that paid monthly or yearly?
It's paid monthly.
It's paid monthly. So if I have a £1,000 loan on a credit card and the interest rate is 10%, I'm paying £100.
Paid monthly. Over the year, they're going to pay 100.
Okay.
But that's split out into monthly payments, assuming that they're not drawing down more on that credit card.
And are you against credit cards?
Credit cards are good if you're using them in the right way. Really good if you're using them in the right way. And that means the points that you're using, the rewards that you get for it, the bonuses that you get from it, all really helpful, only if you're paying them off in full every single month. If you're not using that, or if you're not doing it in that way, which is kind of what they want you to do, because they want you to miss these payments, because that's how credit card companies make money, by your missed payments. If you're not doing that, then the benefits just don't weigh up.
How much emergency fund do you really need? Saving 3 to 6 months of expenses might help your mental health more than a $200K salary. Nischa breaks down how much emergency fund is enough and why it's not just about money, it's about peace of mind.
If you are head of household, you have a mortgage, you have unpredictable income. That's your emergency cushion, and it protects you from the bigger life things. It's the third thing you want to do. It protects you if you lose your job, if you have a health scare, if there are dependents that you need to care for. This kind of buys you that time. But there's really interesting research from Vanguard that actually showed saving 3 to 6 months of your living expenses does more for your emotional well-being than earning over 200K.
So just the peace of mind again.
It's that breathing room, 3 to 6 months of breathing room in your bank account. It just moves the needle. It's the peace of mind, it's the security, it's the stability, one of the core human needs. And it's interesting because we're kind of looking at making more money and earning more, and we're chasing the next number. And actually the thing that's going to have the biggest impact or move the needle on our financial well-being is, at this stage, having that 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up.
It's all relative, right? At the end of the day. So, it's incredibly stressful, and I've been there when you don't know if you can pay this month's rent, if you don't know if you can feed yourself, but also the sort of back of the mind knowledge that if something were to happen, you'd be screwed. It's an incredibly stressful way to live, and you might not even realize the stress consciously, but you might just feel it.
When to stop saving and start investing. You can't save your way to retirement. Here's what to do instead. Nischa reveals when saving becomes counterproductive and why investing is the only way to build long-term wealth.
A lot of people just save. And I just want to, before we move on to step 4, I want to say that if you're saving, you only want to save for one of 2 things. The emergency fund and the peace of mind fund that we spoke about. And the second thing is for any goals that you have in the next 5 years, whether that's a house deposit, car deposit. Other than that, you don't want to be saving that money. The value is going to be eaten away quicker with inflation if you're just keeping it saved in a bank account. So that's when you want to move on to step 4, and that is investing.
Okay, so you don't want to save, you don't want to oversave.
You don't want to oversave. Know when to stop saving and start investing.
And when does one start investing and stop saving?
After they've saved the 3 to 6 months of their living expenses.
Okay.
That's the third step. At that point, once they've done step 1 to 3, this is the point. And the reason why I say this, Steven, is because if you start investing before you've got from steps 1 to 3, and you don't have your savings set aside, and the market goes down, and you have an emergency, you're gonna have to pull that money out at a loss.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna have to go into debt, which is why that was step 2, cut the financial bleeding. So it's really important to have steps 1 to 3 done before you even think about investing.
Okay.
Those 3 to 6 months is your core living expenses. So it's forget all your spending on the things that you love or the things that make life good.
Is buying a house really worth it? Think you need to buy a house to build wealth? Think again. Nischa challenges the idea that home ownership is always a smart investment and shows alternatives that might make more sense.
And you talked about saving for a house as well. Do you see buying a house as a good investment? Because it is the first thing most people do, right? It's like the first thing we're told as part of the script of life. When you get some money, save it up, get a mortgage.
A lot of our view about buying or renting or buying a house is actually formed from what we saw our parents do and what we saw the generation before us do. And so even looking at my life, formed from the way my parents thought, they came to the UK as immigrants. And when they bought their first house, it was like the epitome of success. They had this thing that represented wealth for them, that they could touch, they could see, they could feel. It represented stability, security. And then when we moved out of that terraced home into another home, it was between 2 stations in a catchment area. So me and my sisters got access to better schools. That was then their happiness. That was then their goal and the milestone achieved. And for the previous generation, and still the way people see it today, when people say, oh, we need to buy a house for wealth building, it's because a big factor of it is that it was a forced mechanism of saving. So when you're buying a house or paying for a mortgage, that's not optional. You have to pay it. You then can't then spend that money on anything else. And so as a result, those monthly payments are going towards building your equity and building this house's value. And as a byproduct, is building wealth for you. So for someone listening to this, if they're hearing this conversation, they say, okay, you know what, I have a goal to buy.
The real meaning of passive income. Is passive income really passive? Nischa reveals the truth. Nischa breaks down what passive income actually is and how it's often misunderstood. Learn how to build sustainable income streams without chasing unrealistic dreams.
Passive income is quite a popular term. What is passive income?
The way I see passive income is money that you do not have to work or to invest time in to make. And in all honesty, I think the word passive income gets thrown around a lot. And people forget that the things that you do see that might be passive income streams required a lot of work up front to start with.
What are some passive income ideas that you think some people could pursue, like the average person could potentially pursue, on top of their 9-to-5 job?
I would go back to the easiest way for someone to pursue passive income is through investing.
From like the S&P 500 and stuff like that?
That is the easiest way. If you want to, everything else, and this is how I see it, everything else requires some level of time or energy, because you could increase your income through a couple of avenues, if that's what you're looking to do. You can, like we spoke about, ask for a pay rise at work. You can, if that's not available to you, start up side businesses to increase your income. And there's 2 ways to do that. There's the tap and go, that I like to call it, and it's ways to increase your income that you could do immediately. This isn't passive. This is things like putting a spare room on Airbnb or dog walking or Ubering. They require your time for money, but they are immediate. The downside is there is a cap to how much you could earn because it's not leaning into your unique advantages, your market advantage, your unique selling points. The other side is value and skill-based income. And this is where you lean into your individuality, your unique selling point. You tap into your skills and you create businesses around that can scale. The downside with that, even if it is passive, say if you want to create content and then through that sell products, which you could then earn passively, with that kind of income stream, it always takes longer to make that money.
AI and the future of personal finance. Want to master your money? Here's how AI can now do your finances for you. Nischa and Steven explore how AI tools like ChatGPT can help you budget, invest, and make smarter decisions.
Could I not just go on like ChatGPT and ask it to be my personal accountant every month and tell it my situation, tell it my goals, and then tell it to give me advice every day, week, month, on what I should be doing?
I think that would be a great starting point to understand, what do I need to do if I'm absolutely clueless? That's not to say ChatGPT is always correct. As you probably know, there's some errors in it. So take it with a pinch of salt. But if you're starting from scratch, even saying, hey, this is my income, this is my spending, how do you recommend I budget? Give me 3 or 4 ways to consider it. Yeah, that would be a way for you to take, if that's a way for you to take that next step, then I definitely think that's an avenue to be explored.
Jack, you were telling me the other day that you're now using AI a lot for financial support and advice.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I screenshotted all my bank statement, and then it tells me how much I spend a month, how much I can put into investments and stuff. And I also screenshotted this investment account I had, and it told me that I was overpaying on my investment account. And then it was like, you don't have enough in savings, so you should stop investing and put your money into savings. It gave me advice on a savings account to put it into with a high interest, like 4% interest. And it's actually been game-changing because it's kind of a base knowledge that I wouldn't have had an understanding towards.
Why your credit score really matters. Your credit score isn't just a number, it's a passport to opportunity. Nischa explains how your credit score affects everything from getting a house to landing a job, and how to protect and build it starting today.
How much do you think about credit scores? Because I absolutely butchered my credit score before I even realized it existed. My credit score was in the bin. I got 2 CCJs, which are county court judgments, which is where you really fuck up. Because I didn't know a thing about money when I was 18, 19 years old, and they gave me these credit cards and I'd overdraft and defaulted and didn't pay them back, and went to an ATM, put it in, it didn't come back out.
Yeah.
And then I found out that I had destroyed my credit rating before I knew what it was. And I hear this quite a lot from people. They don't understand the importance of it, or, you know.
You don't realize the importance of it until you're looking to buy something big.
Yeah.
Because that's what it impacts, the credit score. 2 people can go into a car showroom and choose the same car, and the amount they pay for it will be completely different based on the history, the credit background. And so it is something that you need to think about. It is something that you need to make sure you're paying off in time, in full, your credit card, for instance. And it is definitely one of the main things, or one of the things people should always look at and consider. And you can check your credit rating online for free. There are websites that do that, and you can check it, just make sure all of your details are correct. If there's any anomalies, correct that. But most importantly, just make sure, and it really comes down to, are you paying the things that are outstanding on time?
I think most people, especially younger people, don't actually realize that they have a credit score and that they can check it right now for free. And they also probably don't realize that things like being registered to vote has an impact on their credit rating. Because I remember the first time I logged in to check my credit score, and it was like 45. And it said the reason why.
As always, thanks for watching. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, it really helps if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.